the cloud.
Hello, my friends, and welcome to our 5th edition of As Is Above. As is above is below. We got Cindy Dodge here, my astrologer friend. She will be checking out the energy above, the stars that are influencing the dog days of summer, August, and there's a lot of energy pooling around in these dog day readings. So we'll get to that. My name is Brett. I'll be your guide today, leading the trend. I'm in the trenches here with you guys, with the energy around us. So I'm going to turn it over to Cindy right now so she can get started with reading. Thank you all for being here. Please like and subscribe because it is very important to help us elevate this to where it belongs in the universe. So thank you all for your likes, subscribes, and shares and comments. We appreciate that so much. So I'm going to turn it over to Cindy.
Thank you, Brett. So yeah, here we are in August. Boy, the summer really flies by. And it's still super hot out, so we feel like it still is summer, but in reality, we're just around the corner from fall. So, in August, we were talking before we started that I'd like to be able to come to you and say, oh, everything is, coming up roses this month in terms of the energy, but we are still dealing with some kind of, I don't know if it's really heavy energy, but it's certainly not moving forward energy as we have those retrogrades. And this month, we're going to now see Mercury going into retrograde. We also do have kind of an unusual event, a couple of unusual events this month. We have 2 full moons this month, which is unusual. In fact, they generally call that second moon the blue moon because it happens once in a blue moon. And then we have this, what we call the Lion's Gate portal, which is really kind of how we're going to start off, because we have passed that first full moon that was in Aquarius. And so that full moon probably did bring out a lot of nervous energy for you. We know, that Aquarius is an air sign. So it might have had you, just thinking too much, I guess. And sometimes that can create a lot of nervous energy for us. So anyways, I think let's just get started with serious. Well, let's not do that. With that kind of intro, Brett, in terms of, we are still dealing with a lot of energy this month, and I think we are going to see it kind of turn the corner in next month and into the fall. How about an oracle card to see where that puts us?
All right, we'll get that pulled here. So I like that blue moon in Pisces.
Yes, in Pisces.
Yeah, that makes me happy. All right, let's get this oracle card for August for all the collective. What are we going to experience through this transition? There we go. Card number 19, the Sacred Union. I've never read this card before, so I'm already getting chills. All right. All right, so the Sacred Union. You lucky, lucky angel. You are to be blessed with sacred union. This union is of the lover and the beloved, the masculine and the feminine. That which appears to be opposite will no longer appear to be so. There is a coming together that is destined and divine. You are to be swept up in a wave of such love. This oracle comes to you as a portent, a sign of that which is to come, and also as a confirmation of your spiritual journey thus far. You've been working to integrate masculine and feminine energies from within. Oh, perhaps you have not used those words but you have been attempting to find the balance between living a surrendered life and leading from the heart, and then knowing when to take the initiative to set something in motion, when to put your body, mind, and soul into getting your shoulders behind something to push. You have been working hard to surrender attachments to plans and how you think things should go. Instead, you have intended to show it up for what it is, to seek out the genius of life through unconditional acceptance instead of judging and fearing, resisting what is as though it were a big mistake, perhaps caused by ignorance within. No, you do not seek to hide from love anymore. You've been learning step by step how to embrace it and allow it to embrace you. What a journey you are taking, beautiful, lucky angel. So your confirmation is thus: you are growing, you are evolving, you are making the genuine shift into consciousness that are allowing you to change the way you are in the world, to become freer, more loving, wilder, and more divine. The divine has been seducing you with love and beauty, and now, in your surrendered state, you are seducing the divine. You are calling such passionate devotion to your cause, such clever and capable assistance, such grateful intervention. The divine cannot resist your beauty, so keep going with that sacred surrender. Keep believing in the inner healing path you are traveling with such success. Accept this confirmation and acknowledgement close to your heart and keep traveling along your path of love. Keep this knowledge in your heart. You are meeting your beloved. What could be more exciting? The signs coming to you within this oracle is that of great love bestowed by the hand of grace. What this means is there is a destiny at play in matters of the heart. There is heart healing and of letting go of past obstructions, suffering, and misunderstandings. You could say, in a way, that the great cosmic matchmaker has taken up your cause. If you are already in a relationship, expect that there will be healing of that relationship in whatever way needed. You may have a sense of how it is going to play out. It may result in a deepening of commitment to your lover, but it will certainly result in a deepening of your own commitment to love. If you are open to attracting a new and significant relationship into your life, perhaps a life partner, a soul friend, or other support of your life journey, then the divine is hearing your call and is answering it. Let go of your grip. Do not hold on to a particular person, to a particular fear or fantasy. Instead, open your arms as if expecting your lover to run straight into them. For what could be more perfect than the divinely sanctioned relationship entering into your life? It will move you. It is likely through romance, but it could be through soul-satisfying partnerships. The soul for whom you have been waiting, so your life path and heart-inspired work can continue to develop. It could be through the presence of a child, or even coming together of your own inner masculine and feminine, so that you finally have a clear sense of your purpose in life, and that means through which to take action on it, even if that action is to surrender yet again. This oracle also comes with a particular piece of guidance for you. No matter what has been, what has succeeded, and what has appeared to fail, what has been loved and what has been lost, there is only one truth that will prevail in your life without failure, without exception, and that is love. It is all you are truly seeking and is behind every life experience seeking you. Do not stand back from it. Do not put yourself aside. Turn down your eyes and pretend you cannot be seen by the world. Behold, claim the love that is your divine birthright. And now that sacred union is yours, destined in the heavens and blessed by the great beloved. The sacred union.
Wow. So isn't that just all about Venus?
Well, right, we're in Venus retrograde right now.
Exactly. And yeah, I know you posted up some of our past videos, and if you go back and look at the last one in July where we talked about Venus and Venus retrograde, and what that means, and how this is a long retrograde. We won't be coming out of it until September. And so, you know, we're in a whole full month of it here in August, but it really is about, it's about relationships. It's about self-love. Venus actually becomes very powerful when it's in its retrograde. So unlike other planets, you know, that go retrograde, they diminish in their power a little bit. So yeah, that's all I could hear the whole time I was listening to it, is all the messages that this Venus retrograde is trying to bring to us.
Right. I feel like this healing energy of healing from the past wounds. So that, also you said like that, the energy around like drawing you to something like what you love, whether it's a person, place, or your spiritual journey, you know, the soulmates coming in to help guide you or help you. Not always lovers, you know, not always romantic, but the universe is bringing those into us. We all have examples, me and you, especially, of the people here to support our journey. We know these people, we can feel them come in. And we know what isn't for us. Like for me, I know I can feel that energy before it even enters the room, and I know I which way I need to go with it. So, like I said, it's all driven by love, and I love that, you know, it really is Venus, that planet. And when it sits still, when you're like, I don't know, I'm gonna just put an analogy on it. When love is sitting still, it gets bigger. You know, when it's sitting there like holding each other, cuddling each other, you know, that romantic thing, it grows, you know. And so it's also taking that moment to enjoy those things you love around you so that you can grow those too. And yeah, we're in the dog days of summer. We got all the sun. We just need to water it, right?
Yeah. Yeah, so we got all that sun, and we've actually got a lot more sun type energy in the next big event that we're going to talk about here for August, which is peaking on August 8th. So 8/8, which that in itself gives us some indication numerology wise what we're looking at. I'm gonna let Brett talk to that when we after we introduce what this is. So we're talking about the Lionsgate portal. Now, for me as an astrologer, we don't really look to these kinds of events when we're reading charts or we're looking at specific astrological events. Because one, it's not a planet, but it is acknowledged in my profession, you know, that it is an event that's happening out there in our galaxy, and it is bringing a lot of energy to our Earth. And basically that's what it is. It's a star. And even though we call in astrology the sun a planet, the sun is actually a type of star. And so Sirius sits, if I understand it correctly, it sits close to the sun, and it's now moving away from the sun. Well, it is actually much more powerful in that life force sun energy than our actual sun is that we acknowledge in astrology. And so so now we kind of got like this double duty of, you know, heat and self, sun, ego energy coming to us from two different sources, from the Sirius star and our own sun. And so if you don't call it the Lionsgate portal, some people actually even or call it Sirius. Some people actually call it the dog star. And then Brett can talk to us about the star card, and what in tarot the star card is actually a dog that is like kind of howling up to the star. So there's a lot of interconnection with this event, the Lions portal event in the Sirius star. across the various different metaphysical types of, energies that we use to help guide us each day. So this has been around for a really long time. You can see it like in agricultural events, our crops are really starting to come into fruition. They're getting all of the, extra sun energy, and they're going to be harvesting here soon. And so all of that is also related to this Lion's Gate. But it is a time, because of this portal that is opening, it's bringing a lot of strength and power and infusing our earth with a lot of extra spiritual energy because of this portal, or because it's opening up and it's peaking on August 8th. So it's essentially strengthening our life force. It's how you're giving your life and how you're becoming more in alignment with yourself, which I feel like the Oracle talked a lot about that too. And because the Sun and Sirius have to do with your ego, it's more about, your confidence, not, I hate that word ego actually, because it does sound so negative, but in my world, I like to flip the script a lot. Instead of thinking about challenges in a negative way, how do we think about those challenges in a positive way? Well, it's the same with the ego. Instead of attaching it to some kind of negative idea about somebody having a big ego, how about I'm just becoming stronger, or I'm becoming more confident. So again, this sun type energy is giving us that energy to become more stronger and to become more confident. So it's a time of year. It happens every year. It happens every year in Leo season here in August. So that there too gives us this opportunity and something to look forward to every August, is for this Lionsgate portal to open up, where we can really start to embrace some of our own strength and our own self-confidence. So, and just light yourself up and ask yourself the questions, what kind of energy do I want to receive right now? What do I want as I move forward? And what can I put in the past? What have I outgrown? What is old? What is no longer needed? And that is also, this time is also really reinforced with Venus and Venus in retrograde, because that's what it's asking us to do too. It's asking us to kind of evaluate, and those things that don't serve us anymore, how can we set those aside and move towards the energy that does serve us? So if you're going to do any kind of with the full moon or the new moon, like the new moon, we set our intentions, and the full moon, we release all of our fears and all of our angst and all of our emotions to the moon under a full moon. The one thing that you could do with this Lion's portal is you could use it as a time to clear out any of that old energy that's no longer serving you. And it could be something as simple as, going through your phone. Are there pictures that you took of food, that you wanted to put on Facebook? Well, you don't need pictures of food on your phone anymore. First of all, they're on Facebook now. So, clear out your phone, clear out your text messages. Are there apps that you're not using anymore? Because we have become such an electronic dependent world that really those electronics weigh a lot on our energy and on our light and what we need to receive from the universe. So clearing out any of that unused apps or things that are part of our technology is going to help you to bring in more of this Lionsgate sun energy to help you gain the confidence that you need to move forward. So I think that maybe, Brett, this would be a good time. Is there a card for the Lion's Gate, you think?
Well, absolutely. And I just want to kind of strike it again. Like when you talk about the portal opening, right? It's moving the sun. So I feel like the portal is opening, and we got like, to me, it's like a nuclear reaction. That's what's opening this portal. And I don't quote me on this, but I'm pretty sure like the pyramids are aligned to Sirius. Okay, yeah, it goes back a long way. This is
Yeah, that's actually where the whole concept started, with the Egyptians and the way that they did set up their communities and the way that they handled all their agriculture and such.
And I gotta say, happy birthday to my daughter, Taya. She was born on Lion's Gate. She'll be turning 18 here on Tuesday. I love you, kid. You really worked hard. She is that Leo at a very young age, who has learned a lot. And she can step through this portal. When we talk about Leo, I'm wearing my fire sign shirt today. Leos are confident and they know what they want. They're going to step through this portal. And I feel like with all that energy, when you step through that portal, it basically strips you of everything. You're naked, but you're also free of all your stuff. Once you've exposed your strength and you know who you are, you're not scared to be cleansed and how you should be.
And more heart-centered, which is also Leo.
Yeah. So while you were
more heart-centered.
Yeah. So while you were talking, I had the King of Wands show up. He's that fire sign energy, King of Wands, King of Rods. He is the one who owns his own show. He does exactly what he wants to do. He's got all the strength and the confidence for that. And underneath at the bottom, and the same, I was going to say the Ace of Pentacles was under there. It was in reverse though on the bottom of the deck when I first saw that king, but now it shoots out. The Ace of Pentacles. That is a divine gift. It's an earth sign energy, Virgo, Capricorn, and the other earth sign. Sorry, Virgo, Capricorn.
Taurus.
Taurus, yes, sorry, geez. Anyway, so the Ace of Pentacles it takes a long time to nurture that seed. It's not just planting it insta grow. And these are the things that are going to feed us in the long term. The next card that shot out, the card of Cancer. We just came out of Cancer seater. It's like, move on it. This is the Chariot. This is telling you to move forward after that pinnacle. Whether it's love or money or stability, you need to go after that. You got to step through that portal. You know what I mean? And it's like, are you driving that Chariot, or have you lost control of it too? Do you know what you're looking at here with that Ace of Pentacles? Is it really worth going for? I mean, it's the choice, right? We all have free will in this. And let's see what's underneath. So underneath, we got 8 of Cups. The things we need to walk away from, like the things that no longer serve. We filled it up to 8 cups. These things, they're broken cups. It's time to release that and like start this new cycle. It's a new cycle too. It's not, it can be epic, but it's also planting new seeds for the future, right? We're in harvest season too. We got winter wheat to plant, right? We want still stuff to bloom or come up in our fall here. So it's telling you to go after it right now. Harness your energy and find that pentacle that's important to you, whether it's love, money, stability, career, what's important to you right now, because we're all on different life paths. At a young age, I was more driven by money and the things I could get. At an older age, I'm more understanding of why I was working so hard for things that didn't matter to me. And now I'm more on my true life path of helping people. And it's not money anymore. It's that love I share for everybody else. Free and giving. I don't expect anything back ever, and just even the gratitude and the thank you is enough for me. And those things come back to us. Good. That's good karma. I believe in that. So I just honor that. If how do you turn things around? How do you make things positive? Your thoughts feed everything. If you're not thinking good thoughts, don't expect good things to happen. So I'm going to leave that to step through.
I find it interesting that first card you pulled out was that Ace of Pentacles, because, right now, so Leo, or the Sun and Venus, they are both in Leo, but Mars and Mercury are in Virgo, which is the earth signs.
Right.
So, or an earth sign. So really all this like heart-centered energy that, or downloads or intuition that we may be able to gain through this Lionsgate portal is being pulled down by Mercury and Mars into the earth or into our bodies. And so that Ace of Pentacles card popping out like that is just like very significant to what we also see lining up astrologically through this Lionsgate portal.
Right.
So, yeah.
Alignment. And yeah, pentacles are all divine blessings because they're meant to last a long time. Right. And there's something you have to nurture.
Yeah.
And nothing that comes easy. So it's going to challenge you. And Leos, they got to step through their portal. They've got to meet the challenge gracefully and honorably to succeed. You know what I mean? And reap the rewards of good karma.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. So then if we just kind of move on, so I think that was a really good recap of the Lionsgate portal. There's lots of information out there on it if you want to read up more on it, but I think the main message is just that, open up. It's opening up. It's bringing us energy. It's wanting us to, discard some of the old, which we already see that astrologically too through these retrogrades that we're experiencing right now. So, like I said, I'd love to have come to you and said that, this is going to be an easy all roses month, but it's not. There are quite a few what we call squares this month, and that is where two planets are just kind of like squaring off with each other. And whenever planets square off with each other, they're in tension and they are not agreeing. They're two themes or the different types of attributes that they both represent are, can be somewhat in opposition to each other, and or they both want it their way. And neither one is really willing to give it up. So we see a lot of that going on this month, and I'll talk a little bit specifically about where those are at. Mercury is going retrograde on the 23rd, which puts us another planet into retrograde. We're actually in what we call the Mercury retrograde shadow right now. It just started here on the 3rd. The shadow is not as strong as when it's in retrograde, but it can bring up a lot of those little snafus. And, some people, if you're, and I believe it's the fixed signs this time. If you're a fixed sign, you're going to feel this Mercury retrograde a little bit more, but I'm an Aquarian, and Aquarius is the fixed sign, and I don't care what sign Mercury retrograde is in. I seem to always feel it very strongly. And I felt the shade just the other day when I went to the doctor's office, and my driver's license was in a purse that I used over the weekend. And the first thing they asked me for was, a copy of my insurance card and my driver's license. And because I didn't have my driver's license, they weren't able to see me. And I had to reschedule, for another day, which in the beginning was very frustrating because I had waited so long for the appointment. But then they were able to get me in the next day, which again was frustrating because why did I have to wait? And now I get in tomorrow. But that's just a clear example of Mercury retrograde that needed to slow me down, even in the shadow period, because there was some other direction that I needed to go, or maybe there's some type of something I needed to reevaluate. Right now I've been living in the fast lane through this summer with so many different personal events going on, and, not being as organized as I can be, and leaving my driver's license in one purse and not even in the car that I'm driving in. So those are just classic examples. I think we all have examples of Mercury retrograde, but So it's not going to be that easy of an energy this month. So for example, let's see what date we're here on the 4th. So starting tomorrow, the 5th, 6th, and 7th, we're going to have the sun is going to square Jupiter. So again, the sun, is about you. It's the I, myself. I am confident. I do have a lot of strength. Any of the I statements are all generally related to the sun. And Jupiter is wanting to make everything big, right? And so you may feel like you need to go on some big adventure because that's Jupiter, calling out what it likes you to do. It wants you to go big. It wants you to travel. It wants you to think bigger. But you may make promises right now during the 5th, 6th, and 7th that are like over your head or too big, and you might not be able to follow through with them because of a lot of other commitments. And that's the square of the sun, the I part, well, I made a commitment, but now I can't follow through because again, they're squaring and they are in tension. We'll also have Uranus squaring Venus, which causes a lot of restless energy or a nervous energy that can cause havoc in relationships. It could be your one-on-one relationships with your partner. It could be in new relationships that you're trying to, foster. But it's a difficult tension, Uranus and the sun. So things might not go as planned. And you're going to have a lot of flexibility over these next few days, the 5th, 6th, and 7th. So I think that maybe, Brett, could we pull a card that just maybe talks about all of this like tension kind of energy or internal nervousness that we might feel about that we can't move forward fast enough here in the month of August?
Yeah, I definitely want to ask some questions. And the more I just get picturing everything that's going on. So we've got August bookend with 2 full moons, and there's that, it's like holding that portal open wider. It's letting in more energy, and it almost gets more difficult to walk through with all that energy coming through. And I think it's challenging us too. So you got that sun and Sirius ripping open in the middle, and then you got Venus in there, right? The sun is us. Venus is our love. That's the closest. I think I should know better, but is Venus the closest one to our, you know what I mean? Those things are all linking together. And like I said, this is kind of a divine reading of where it's guiding you. I mean, it really is. And then you get the Virgo sun changing, the grounding energy coming in the mid-month. So yeah, it's really crazy at the beginning. And then, we're harvesting, right? It's all about harvest season. The dog days of summer, it's the hardest work of the year. But what you're harvesting is your future. This is what's going to feed you through the winter. And then we've got this Mercury retrograde. How is Mercury? Mercury retrogrades affect us in a way. They're not always negative, but they seem to be. But when you look back, you go, wow, I'm glad I didn't go that day to the doctor, because this could have, you know what I mean? They like never
Exactly.
Okay, yeah. So here are the 2 cards that come out on the table, both in reverse, because I think we're asking the question. And of course, our Leo card, I'm gonna put it right side up, right? Strength card. It's called the Cone White. It's the wise person that's lived the lives and learned the lessons and is now strong in the faith that they can get through and conquer these obstacles. It comes in the reverse because not all of us have that confidence. Are we going to step through? Because it's always fear at that portal. What's on the other side? Are we scared, or are we going to harvest? Is it too hot out to work today? Is it, you know what I mean? You let your shit rot. I really got to get you off your duff. You got 3 of Pentacles underneath, card of Capricorn. It's in reverse. These are our friends groups. These are the people, to me, these are the people I need to disconnect from. The naysayers, the people that are trying to hold me back from going through that portal. They don't want to see me evolve. They don't want to see you evolve. They want to keep you here with them in their world. You got to decide, what people are right in your life. Are they growing you? Do they want to recognize you and put you on a pedestal, or are they bringing you down to where their vibrations are? And Mercury retrograde and all of this energy can really feel heavy, right? The earth is heavy. Fire will help cleanse that energy. You know what I mean? When we capture and have our own fire and people aren't burning us with it, we have our own tools. We all have this fire in us to develop and conquer all the challenges that are ahead this month. You know, it's Mercury retrogrades aren't anything to be scared of. So underneath, I love my devil card of Capricorn again. What didn't you say some planet was Pluto was in retrograde too?
Yeah, so Pluto, remember Pluto moved in, it changed signs. It moved into Aquarius. And then I said it's going to have to regress, I guess is the word, back a couple of times before it fully stations into Aquarius. So right now it is back in a retrograde into Capricorn.
Okay. So I want to stick on this devil card because it's linked with Saturn too, karmic law and justice and Capricorn. The devil, you know, they're chained to the devil itself, but there's no locks. They can free themselves because it is your own mind harnessing that are keeping all these things, are keeping you trapped. We've got this in the reverse. If you look at that guy, he's setting a trap, but he's thinking, you see that bear in the back? The bear's looking at him, dude, why are you going to stick your finger in that trap? Right? I mean, this is the devil energy. Why are you going to, you know, it works. You don't need to stick your hand in there to get it cut off. You know, but we're freeing ourselves of our thoughts and the devil in reverse. This is creating independence, us learning to stand on our own. I mean, these are karmic lessons and things we need to harvest. And this is about feeling more in control when you maybe haven't been through these things. And it all really has to do with your thoughts. You don't know how important that.
Yeah. So I think actually those cards, yeah, really, you know, because all of those ideas that you just presented there do kind of bring up a lot of tension within us internally, and, you know, can create a lot of nervous energy for us. But yet astrologically, they do really line up, like you said there, with that Pluto and Capricorn. Part of the reason why it's got to go back into Capricorn is because we need one more kind of look back at those structures that aren't working for us anymore, you know, before we break free and move forward into Aquarius, which is a much more progressive, out of the box, moving forward type of thinking sign. And so the other thing though is, you know, the other Capricorn card there, you mentioned something about like your friends, right? Okay, or people that aren't serving you any longer. So when we think about structures, it doesn't always need to be like, you know, am I living in the right home? You know, or do I need to move homes? That's a physical structure. Well, structure can be the structure of our community too, or our friend circle, or our friend base, or finding a new tribe, or finding a new community. And so that really leads nicely into the new moon. There is a new moon this month too, on August 16th in Leo. And normally with a new moon, we would set our intentions that we want to manifest over the next short period of time before the full moon, where we release. However, this new moon is not really going to be that great a new moon for manifesting, because again, it can bring up a lot of unexpected types of events, or maybe even accidents. You could be feeling really defensive, you know, by whatever comes up that's unexpected. You could be feeling defensive. You could be feeling anxious about your future. And part of that is because Neptune is also going to be sitting there during this new moon. And we know that Neptune is kind of like, you know, the rose-colored glasses, you know, brings the fog down over things. That death card, you know, you were explaining about, geez, it looks like he's putting his finger in the trap. The card in general is just kind of dark and foggy, right? And so, you know, that's what we're going to be feeling in this new moon in Leo because of Neptune being there. And it's going to be talking to Mars too. So, you know, we're just going to maybe be feeling really out of sorts mid-month with this new moon. And so it will not be a good time to make bold moves or to, you know, initiate any kind of manifesting over the new moon on the 16th.
Yeah, so when I can't manifest or harvest, I have to heal or plan. You know what I mean? So this might be that transition, and you know, let's pull some energy on it. It's a new moon, you know, and it is kind of a. Some people might say, "Oh, if there's not that much power, I ain't gonna do the work. I ain't gonna do the opportunity." We got 2 cups. That's the card of Cancer. It's about divine unions too. Things coming together is what I feel like with 2 cups, you know. But finding truth within your relationships. I mean, now these cards are starting to speak in unison. You know, Archangel Michael's sort of truth, air sign energy, Aquarius, Gemini, and Libra. And then we've got the beautiful 2 of Cups, Cancer there. And like I said, I always feel like the things that you connect to are the things that are going to help take you to the next phase of things. Those things that are holding you back, you need to cut the ties from. You know what I mean? That's what that sword is. It helps you free up. Yeah. So you can be victorious. So you can, you know, this is Leo energy with the 6 of Wands. This is that, you know, harnessing, I can win and I will win at all costs, but not at that cost of breaking your karmic law. You know, it's when I've been telling people a lot, if you're going to manifest something, your intentions have to be pure, and you've got to surrender that this is what I'm going to devote myself to. Because if you go in and going, yeah, I hope this works out, don't even bother. You're wasting your time, and you're going to just cause yourself more. You're going to get yourself more stuck. So I always just say, look at the purity of your intentions, right? So you can harness the victory, and you can harvest all these lessons and what you want to do go forward, what's going to feed you through the winter time. And right now I really feel like it's the planning steps of stepping through the portal and into a new reality, one that is like more free and more open and expanding, as we've been maybe confined with all of these changes and the retrogrades and how it's been affecting us. And you know, some people are victorious, some people aren't. That's just life too. We all have different journeys to go, and no matter what your choice is, wherever you end up, that's where you belong. You know what I mean? So don't fear any choices. Don't fear being bold. You know, take those steps to find that light in your heart. Follow that star, you know, Sirius. I love that it's Sirius. It's like, you know, when I say I'm serious, when Pisces says he's serious, you don't ever doubt me. I like legitimately, I'm serious as a heart attack. You know, so and I also know at this point in my life I've conquered every test, and not always won the battles, but I harvest enough rewards and the lessons to make my path when I step through this portal all the more better. And I also do believe that I surrender to the universe, and I always know they're never going to give me what I want. They're only going to give me what I need. And like I said, those are the things that are helping us propel us on our path. And being able to see those for what they are in their true light, not without Neptune there. You know, Neptune, rosy colored glass. Oh, it's the moon. I'm in love. Yeah, you know, and it's like you didn't take the time to really look at it. You put on the glasses and saw through the situation, the person, you know, and it's all those things: relationships, loves, career. But you got to keep asking yourself the questions and keep moving forward with pure intention that you are going to succeed. And always, when there is doubt, that's where you bolster more strength and you got to step forward that one step more. You know, when it gets harder, keep taking one step. You'll always, when you look back, you go, I didn't realize I made it that far. Look at me. You know, I've been doubting myself, and look at me. I've come this far. Why stop now? That's my message for the
Yeah,
like.
and I think, like, I think the thing to really point out through that message, Brett, is just that, like I said, with that new moon, normally we would ask you to like write your intentions down, and set a light to them or a fire to them and release them to the universe. And even though this may not be the best time to do that, like you said, it doesn't mean you sit back and not do anything during a new moon. But maybe the better option with the new moon, especially with Neptune there, is, reflecting or thinking or trying to uncover, what may have been hidden or shaded from you, so that you can, release it and put the old into the past, because these are the themes that are, really been hitting us hard last month and again this month, so that we can move forward. Hopefully next month we should see some forward movement. The only other thing that I do want to talk about, I did talk about Jupiter already, and when it squared the sun, I do want to say that it squares Venus on August 22nd. And this is really going to kind of take it out of context for us talking about our own personal self-growth and values and love and relationships, is that Venus or Jupiter, because it likes to expand things. The last time we saw it connecting with Venus, Jupiter with Venus like this was, when we started COVID. So, I'm not saying that COVID's going to rear its ugly head again this month, although I think in some areas we do see some increases there. But what I'm more, at least in our area, I don't know about across the country, is the smoke, all the fog and the smog in the out in our environment. I feel like it's the new COVID, like everything's trying to push us inside. When, and isn't that Pluto and Capricorn, it's like, we want to keep the old structures. We want to keep everything the old way. So, we're going to do something to like make sure everybody just gets pushed back and stays in their old ways. Well, no, that's not what's going to happen. We are going to open up, and we are opening up, and there's all this energy here to open us up. But we have to keep having these reminders that we almost like have to overcome them, but with caution. So around August 22nd, you might just want to take a little think back about, being a little bit more cautious about your world. In terms of how any kinds of health issues or contagions or other things may be impacting you. So then let's go on to that August 23rd, because this happens Mercury retrograde, but it also happens at the same time that the sun is going to move from Leo to Virgo. So they're kind of happening both simultaneously. And we know that Mercury retrograde is all about our attitudes. Well, in Virgo, it's about our attitudes, about how we listen, about our rituals, our routines. So we're going to be thinking about reevaluating them or revising them, maybe working on your listening skills during this time, active listening skills, health types of routines and procedures. And then, when the sun is in Virgo in conjunction with Mercury, again, it creates that a little bit more frustration. It's a little bit more critical, a little bit more anxiety, in Virgo wants us to, think about our physical, our mental, and our emotional health. And it is an earth sign, so it does want to slow us down a little bit from what we just saw with that Leo fire energy. So, over the next 4 weeks, when the sun goes into Virgo, You know, you're going to, you know, be having a lot of thoughts and maybe frustrations about your health and body. Yes, let's see what the cards say about that.
You know, because that's a big change from fire to earth.
It is.
That's from masculine to feminine. And when that, and our oracle card reflected on that. And honestly, balancing those two energies is like, if you can do that within yourself, that's a harmonization, that's an alignment, that's enlightenment too. So let's pull some energy on the grounding, Virgo. Like, what can we expect when we make this? Like, to me, that's also like midway through the portal.
Yeah, and while you're shuffling those to do that, I just want to mention one more thing too. On August 27th, Mars moves into Libra from Virgo. So again, that, you know, we're going to see a lot of mental, physical type of energy.
Okay, so we got a good card in reverse, the Three of Swords. You know, we talked about Libra. You just said Libra, and the card's already been pulled, like it was thrown. You know, Libra's about balancing. Okay, Three Swords, that's third party, that's heartbreak, that's the huge amount of sorrow. When we got it in reverse, the advice here is to heal and forgive. You know, and this is cleansing, this is moving forward in a new way too. Once we've cleansed ourselves of any faults done to us, we've forgiven those who, I'll get biblical, who trespassed against us, you know, lead us not into temptation, you know, into the lust, into the material, into, you know, those forces are always there. And we're gonna take the wrong turn here and there. We forgive, we forget, we learn the lessons, and we got a tower, right? There are times we need to break these chains. And if you don't break them, the universe gonna come along and say, snap, snap, snap. You know, you keep getting the same lessons, harnessing that same result. Damn, change your stuff, change how you do things,
Change routines, change
try,
rituals, change. Yes.
yeah, try something different. How about avoiding conflict? This is Leo card, you know, this is about conflicts. You know, I heard something the other day, you know, if you're fighting about something today and you died tomorrow, would you really have been fighting about that? How important was that fight? Do you choose your fights, right? Are you fighting against yourself? I mean, there's so many things that are challenging us.
Like I said, the way we listen, reevaluate the way you listen. Is it really worth fighting about?
And then we got the ultimate fire card, the Knight of Wands here. This is taking action. It can be impulsive. It can be, but it's also that guy, he's really moving forward after what he desires and what is, you know, am I really going to fight this, or am I going to, I can kind of get this fight or flight energy with it. You know, do you need to? Last card underneath, we got Four of Swords. Contemplation, right? You got all these swords above you, but there's that one important thing below that's important. You know, and that's what everybody's thinking about right now, whether it's love, their career, whatever the stability is. You know, are you doing those things? Are you taking charge? And are you going about it right? Because that night he wants victory at all costs, and sometimes he doesn't do the right thing. Can start the tower again and start this whole Three Swords again. You know what I mean? It's all free will. It's like I tell people after a reading, whatever you do after this is your own free will. So whatever we said here, it's all your choices and your journey. And choose wisely. You know, I've hopefully given you every bit of wisdom to guide you of what you might expect. And hopefully you take that light to walk through the stress, the pain, the anguish, and in the knowing that what you're doing is in your best interest for your journey and for those that you hold dear and what you love. So I'm gonna leave that there.
Yeah, and I'm done too. I just want to mention that full moon on August 30th in Pisces, you know, it's going to be a big feeling moon. A lot of feelings might be coming to the surface. We always see a lot of feelings around a full moon anyways. You might start to, you know, regret maybe some things that you said before, like that card said, you know, is it really worth fighting for? It's a good time to really think about and release any limiting beliefs that you have, because this is going to propel us into September. And I'm really excited to see what is coming for us in September. I'm really praying
Yeah.
that we're going to really see some movement forward once some of these retrogrades start to pass.
All the momentum we have gained or not, the energy is going to help push it even faster. So
That's right.
I liked in that, I think it was in the Oracle, what are you pushing? Like, I think that was the first thing, was like, what is the energy you're using? What are you pushing right now? Are you pushing
Yep.
someone style, or are you pushing your agenda and
Yeah,
your
you know, Brett, I love that. And that really is remember I said I like to flip the script, and I
yeah,
said that this month is still going to be a little bit challenging. Well, how about if we just flip it and say, you know, what are we really trying to push here? Are we trying to push the good through? Or, you know, are we still trying to push some of those old bad routines through?
yeah. I think our message here is pushing people to have their realization of their own strength, and to really take charge.
Yes,
Um, in those tough situations, we've given you enough information. If you process it and feel it, you can execute it.
absolutely.
Yeah. Well, that's all I have for today. I want to thank everybody out there. Please like and subscribe again to the video. Make your comments, because they do help propel our videos so that we get the messages out to more people. I wish the best for you in August. May you harvest all of those seeds that were planted. If some still need to grow, you know, are they worth nurturing, to get what was intended, or is it time to, like, dig the field under so that you can replant with a whole new intention of what the lessons you've learned and harvested from this whole year. I mean, it really has been huge transitions, and I believe in my heart, I know the end of the year is going to be a lot different, whole new story than it has been first. Because I believe, that's my Pisces mantra. I believe, and I surrender to the will of the universe so that it will guide me and all of us to where we're supposed to be and how we're supposed to impact humanity and our own journeys and others. Because you know what I mean? As much as people impact us, bringing that positive impact that we want to is what's important. And also, like I said, stick to the light and be aware of the dark so you can find that balance in the good and the bad, and in your thoughts. Those are the balance you need to achieve. I'm going to leave it right there with that. So thank you all. Go ahead with your closing, Cindy, and thanks again for taking the time with me.
Yeah, yeah. And I'm just going to say, keep watching us, because Brett and I are coming up with some other new ideas to talk about putting what we've been talking about in these videos that we've done to date, and how that has applied in practicality towards our lives, to help give you some examples and demonstrate that, you know, it really does work. It really does work. So keep watching, because we got good things coming.
All right, Cindy. Thank you. Thanks again. All have a good, wonderful journey and enjoy it. Bye now.
Bye.